Never fight fate. Because it fights back. Asat Pramod, your elation is just supreme idiocy. Thing over there. What is that?
I've seen it at Star Rail Fest. Likely a device that collects people's wish power.
He has courageously challenged an ancient Leviathan of the Sigdarth Age. And his chosen weapon is a standard plain Arcadian ambience prop. As I said, he is peak entertainment. At last, the long-awaited prelude. Monster versus protagonist.
Ugh, I'm sick of this guy's trifling gimmicks. Keep it together. Remember our plan.
The recoil is starting to have trouble keeping up with me. This is my chance.
wasn't a tutorial.
We're here. Get ready, Sunday.
Careful. Asat Pramod just appeared above you.
Smart of you to lead a Xianzhou general to her death. How honorable and entertaining it would be to challenge the Demon Lord and save the world alone. But yes, two is better than one. Still, I was not expecting a diviner. To think I should have the honor of meeting the divine foresight, Bane of Ventilia. What can she do for you? Reveal your victory odds? Predict your weal and woe? Whatever she divines, I will block its path. What will you do now?
Then I, a diviner that never grants an audience to anyone, will teach you a lesson. Asat Pramod, a general and a diviner have completely different duties. A general breaks formations from behind, and a diviner destroys them from the front. And did you say you will block every path I divine? Sorry, but creating paths where there are none is the expertise of trailblazers. Now, shall I read your fortune? See your myriad possibilities condense until eventually only one remains. Defeat.
The rainbow surveys the heavens, perceiving 1,000 forms. Across the meridians of destiny, the jade abacus reveals its script. The celestial eye opens and shuts as calamity and fortune reveal themselves.
I see it. So this insight is what the eye of the hunt has to offer.
Good. I see it too. Asat Pramod, your fate is sealed.
What a brilliant reversal! Now, this is the resistance I have been looking for. Exhausting all possibilities. Plotting every scheme. Just hurling everything at me. In short, elation! How unfortunate that this coming perfect apocalypse will not be seen by you, General Yao Guang. I see the rope that tethered your existence here has snapped. I do not believe we will meet again in this lifetime.
have nothing left to give. Ishvara, please, take Asat Pramod to his fated defeat.
General!
Pity. You were so close. She put her life on the line for you to have this sliver of a chance. Just like Himiko. Don't let their sacrifices come to nothing. You know, protagonist, it's actually heartbreaking that those clones are gone. But she did deliver you here to me. It's time for a veteran navigator to point the way forward for you.
The Phantom Moon Courtyard?
A terrifying enemy is near, but you stand alone, helpless. How often have you been in such a predicament, protagonist? This is how trailblazing expeditions always end, no? Don't worry. As the former navigator myself, I may provide you with some instruction. Just as Akivili instructed me, and I instructed Falcon Amundsen. Perhaps instruction is too formal a word. Young people these days can't stand such formality. How about we make it a bit friendlier? You quiz me instead. Next, you can ask me questions. 8 of them. About me. About Aha. About Akivili. About the future of the cosmos. About you, even. I'll answer anything you ask. Because once 8 questions are done, you're dead. Did you forget? We are the only 2 supplicants with a chance of winning the Phantom Moon Games. Because the or perhaps because we first met in Amphorius. Another 8! Because the die happened to land on 8. Because there are 8 supplicants in the games. Or perhaps because we first met in Amphorius. Another 8! You're not interested in stories and secrets? That's unfortunate. Of course, this universe also has a button reserved for you. But let me remind you, this is the last time we will speak so openly.
Is this guy actually serious? Kimiko hasn't escaped yet, and there's no news from the Express. I should try to delay him for as long as possible if we want to have any chance of winning. Why would I believe a Lord Ravager?
Looks like you're not so opposed to my offer either. How about we add a wild card to to this boring trivia game then. Give your answers to the die you're holding. Roll the die. If your roll is a critical success, you get to uncover my deepest secret. I will answer every question, even if it works against me. I'll share a candid truth, though it won't necessarily be the whole truth. I still answer, but only in half-truths. It shouldn't pose any problem for our protagonist. You can effortlessly distinguish truth from deception. Oh. Did General Yao Guang bind me just now? You should really trust her strength. Besides, it's been a long time since I've just offered myself up to the chessboard. How exciting to have... Besides, it's been a long time since I've just offered myself up to the chessboard of fate. Have every outcome based on pure probability. And now, let's get started.
What do I ask?
Right now, among infinite possibilities, countless versions of you are asking me endless questions. Not strange at all. Faced with fate and the universe, people have endless questions. It's asking and answering that make us who we are. Don't hold back. Go ahead and ask your most pressing question right now.
I want to know how Yao Guang and Evanesia are doing.
I can tell you care a lot about them. As you should. After all, they both bet everything on you. But, as is customary, I can only answer one question at a time. How should one define this Xianzhou general's state of existence? She's still alive, but she may as well be dead, because she will be lost in the maze of possibilities. Do you really have the time to worry about others? You should be thinking hard about what 7 questions left.
I'm sure it's nothing to you. But do you...
Understandable. I've met a lot of people who love coming at me, yelling their slogans. Hope. Justice. But you would rather know all the strategies to beat the devil. Don't worry. My answer won't disappoint you. But of course, you'll have to roll the die first. Curses! Your failed roll stings more for me than it does for you. What an opportunity to miss out on. Well then, let me give you a little hint. You unknowingly found a way to defeat me when you were fighting back against Full Wish. Try your hardest to remember. You already know what I'm talking about. You may ask 6 more questions.
I've always been curious. Since the Stellaron hunters also see possibilities, do you know what...
A critical success? Your luck is off the chart. Elio's troop. What they're chasing is something even the Eons might hesitate to touch. They are not fighting against a specific apocalypse, but trying to destroy the finality itself. To be more exact, they seek to destroy a finale in which every possibility has been frozen. What Elio has glimpsed may be an end that goes beyond the destruction itself. A point where all things settle into complete stillness and nihility. The Stellaron hunters traverse the worlds in search of a path that will let the entire universe keep evolving. Their purpose is far more tragic and far more mad than it appears. Five left now.
Someone said there are 4 paths that will bring the apocalypse to the universe. Destruction, harmony, and nihility. What is the last remaining path?
Your questions would leave even Noose completely stumped. But I will answer them, even though I can only offer my humble opinion. Up to you if you believe me or not. Now, roll the die. I believe the 4th path that brings the apocalypse is the elation. Once, elation was a dutiful and committed god. They scattered the seeds of chance, carving sharp turns of fate across the universe. They even made a reward of their own face, bestowing it upon those who passed their trials, and delighted in goading other gods to join the hunt for the most terrifying, supreme beings. Unfortunately, nothing resists the incineration of time. No matter how long the comedy lasts, all will eventually return to silence. But before the deathly silence, the elation will become something even more terrifying. I saw how truly fatigued they are. The elation is being swallowed by their own endless mirth. They will slide towards an even more terrifying extreme. Not to stop elation, but to drag all things into an eternal, meaningless, and unreasonable farce of chaos. And that will cease to be comedy and become a universe-wide contamination. Upon stepping onto a path and becoming an Eon, One is expected to glimpse their own end, yet the results of paths colliding remain beyond their sight. How do they really feel about exercising the divine authority of elation? Do they suffer with it? Would they fear this ending? I don't know. If the disciples of a god cannot bring them deliverance before they fall, do they still deserve to be called disciples? So, I boarded the Astral Express and traveled to different worlds, searching for their tracks and gains. Before they fully succumb to corruption and drag all existence into that unspeakable madness, I will grant them the grandest find. This is the highest form of reverence I can offer them. 4 questions left. Keep going.
How did you fall from being the Astral Express's navigator to becoming a Lord Ravager?
You call it falling, but I see it as sublimation. You've journeyed through plain Arcadia. How do you like this world of elation? I don't like it. They spend their time in idle satiety, then peck each other bloody in online arguments over insignificant issues. People never leave their homes, but online they are angry, crying, and cheerful. Their eyes are glued to tragedies unfolding across the cosmos, treating others' struggles for life as seasoning for their meals, then turning around to tip the clowns who make them laugh. On the other side of the cosmos, the IPC is bombing the Isnian Confederation. People huddle in the ruins without a single drop of clean drinking water, trembling as they wait to see whether tomorrow or death comes for them first. In this universe, the contrast between luck and misfortune is too dazzling. Of course not. One does not simply just become a Lord Ravager in an instant. Like Akivili, I once believed that exploring and connecting could create understanding. And understanding could remove division. That the newly discovered worlds could shelter those whose own homes were ravaged by war and hunger. But all your trailblaze does is spread naivete and hope across a land destined to be destroyed. Across the cosmic ocean, all civilizations meet a strikingly similar end. Having climbed to brilliance, they collapse under their own stupidity, avarice, or sheer chance. The path of Akivili only postpones the inevitable, but it cannot change its nature. I walked too far and saw too much. Afterwards, I could not laugh again. Finally, the blemished one showed me another path. Destruction. On their path, the gluttonous and the hungry, the brave and the weak, all inequalities come to an equal end. Only when people realize is imminent do they resist meaningfully and make their existence worth something. The rising sun shines on ice sculptures, melts them as if they were never there, even though humans carved them so beautifully, yes? From that moment onward, I.C. died, and Asat Pramad was born. You may still ask me 3 more questions.
What exactly did you do during this Phantasm Games?
This is a very complicated question. And well, all villains are always waiting for the opportunity to explain their scheme. But if I had to start from the beginning, I'm afraid you wouldn't have the patience to listen to the end. Why don't you ask? Come on, roll the die. We'll see how many secrets your roll will unearth. I am willing to answer your most pressing question about this particular scheme. Why would I? My relationship with Full Wish has always been above board. There's no need to compel a prospect as driven for revenge as she was. And it's impossible to include anyone like her in any complex scheme. All one could do at this point was set her free and allow her to shine. Of course, she needed a small gift for motivational purposes, which I provided. A sliver of Shu-Hu's flesh. That's it? I was hoping you'd dig a little deeper. Going over my past schemes is actually quite a treat. Only 2 questions left.
Can you tell me the real truth about the Phantasm Games?
I bet you figured it out long ago, didn't you? Oh, critical success. Then perhaps I should clear things up a bit more. Across countless generations, the supplicant's wish power has gathered here, coursing through the abundant Elwood into the veins of the path. It soothes the ever-starving husk and keeps it from rising again. People believe the supplicant's miracle was created to please Aha, but this is wrong. People believe the markings around the mask measure how much wish power each supplicant has gathered. But they're wrong. Those markings are telling everyone this. If you want to lull the veracity into sleep, you must fill them. Only when the hunger and thirst of the slumbering beast are satiated with wish power can the beings of Ahatopia struggle on into the next Amber Era. And then Aha will appear to reward this savior by sharing 1 minute of their life. Everyone is envious of the infinite power of the eons and their eternal life. But who can comprehend their suffering on those paths? Bound by their own authority, becoming unfeeling instruments of the law. Even a god as close to humanity as elation. For humans, the prize of these games lasts for only a fleeting minute. But for an eon, it's a free and blissful reprieve from the shackles of their path. Do you understand now? The Phantasm Moon Games are a holiday for a god. Only during such a respite can elation, vulnerable and unguarded, be killed. Final question. Think carefully. What do you want?
There's something I've thought about from the start. Tell me, is Himiko still alive? Do you really have no feelings for you?
Your luck really is awful. Of all the questions, you had to fail on the one I most wanted to answer. Pay no mind to the role. I'll be honest with you. Of course Himiko is still alive. At least on the stage I've meticulously prepared for her. She will play an important role. And his net life is like this. One chance journey after another. One whim after another. Playing someone's father. Becoming someone's friend. And at times, someone's lover. Then, by a twist of fate, I let a girl with no future begin to dream of the stars. And of lands yet to be reached. I have never understood why the seeds I planted by chance would always take root in unexpected ways. I never expected them to bear fruit such as Graphia or Himiko. It feels like a curse. Like fate's cruelest mockery of me. Just like that night 15 years ago, I had the chance to crush the Express again, but I hesitated. No to both. I've never fully understood that lapse in judgment. I still ask myself why.
No matter the reason, you caused a huge mess for your colleagues.
A few weeks ago, Himiko returned to her hometown and brought you back with her. That was the moment I finally understood why I didn't shoot down the Express 15 years ago. It had nothing to do with acting as a father or trailblazing, but for a destruction that spanned 15 years, to set her on a journey to gain what was most precious, only to shatter it all in the cruelest way. What truly matters is this. I will have you bring an end to this world, here and now. It's the most vicious joke I can play on plain Arcadia, on myself, and on the fate of the universe. Take a guess. Will this joke amuse Aha?
You want to use my Stellaron?
The worlds the Astral Express deals with. How could they be without a Stellaron? Boom! 15 years ago, during the blood-stained games, all the supplicants died violent deaths. Then, the husk ran out of wish power and grew agitated, craving a blood sacrifice. 15 years later, a hero from the Express shone brightly throughout the games. His Stellaron overflowing with wish power. The perfect sacrificial piece. All right. Now that I've answered the 8 questions, I now need to kids these days. Show some respect and put your phone away when your elder is talking.